All right, Coach, we're going to get started with Cameron Cox with 12 News.
Hey, Coach, how would you sum up out there tonight?
Look, it was a typical playoff desperation by them. We didn't play with the desperation necessary to win a game like that consistently. And that's how I would sum it up. Offensively tonight, we weren't sound at all. You look at the point totals in the first, third, and fourth. You know, they played good defense tonight, but we didn't run our offense the way that we have been running it for most of these playoffs. But they played with a great deal of desperation, 50-50 balls, attacking the offensive glass, attacking the rim. They played hard in every segment of the game. We didn't play as hard consistently. And so you have to tip your hat to them. They brought it tonight for more of the 48 minutes than we did.
Next is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Kellen Olson.
Yeah, Coach, just your assessment of Chris and how he looked tonight.
Yeah, it was his first game back. You know, you could see it, some flashes of it. I thought I played him too much, and he probably got tired, but it hurt us when Payne couldn't come back. So I left Chris out there for a longer stretch, and then that's on me. But I think as he, you know, practices more and plays more, he hasn't done anything in 10 days. And so, you know, I think he'll get better. He'll be much better in the second game from a conditioning standpoint or in his next game.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Dave McMiniman.
Hey, Monty, that third quarter was the most you guys have been outscored in any quarter this postseason. What did you see going on for you guys?
They came out in the third quarter and just brought it. You know, our guys were talking about their level of play in the timeouts, and everybody knew it. We just didn't match their force. And like I said, you have to give them credit. We have to understand that, you know, playing against a team that was going to play with that kind of effort every quarter. And we've been pretty good in third quarter. So that was a bit surprising for us. So they threw a punch, and now we got to, you know, counter with another punch and make sure we bring the effort and execution in the next game.
Next is Dave McMiniman with ESPN, followed by Mark Spears.
Monty had to like the game of his life, maybe in game two for Cameron. Do you have any sense of how this angle could affect him moving forward?
No, I don't. We'll see. He tried to come back, and it just wouldn't allow him to, you know, get back out there on the floor. So I'll get more of an update when I go in the back.
Next is Mark Spears with ESPN, followed by Anthony Slater.
Coach, Oakton had one of the better shooting games. How much of it was just enough night? How much of it you think was the mask?
It's hard to say. He won't make excuses about that. There were stretches where we as a team, the ball just didn't pop around the gym the way that we're typically pop it around the gym. But for Book, like those kinds of shooting nights don't happen often. I mean, he and Chris both, Chris was probably more conditioning and first time getting back out there. And there was a lot of attention on Book, a lot of hands on him. So those guys will adjust.
Next is Anthony Slater with The Athletic, followed by Gina Mizell.
Yeah, Coach, along those same lines, you know, they put Beverly on him a lot more, on Booker a lot more the last couple of games. What is he doing that's been so effective, kind of making Booker inefficient?
It's hard to say. You know, Patrick's a really good defender. We know that, but there were times where Book just missed a shot. You know, I'll look at the film. He's physical for sure. That can wear a guy down. We have to do a much better job of having more balance in our offense. If you look at the point totals, a lot of our stuff came late in the clock. That's not how we've been playing most of the playoffs. So, you know, tip your hat to Beverly. He plays really good defense. He's aggressive. But when I look at the film, I bet you'll just see Book just miss some shots.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Greg Moore.
Hey, Monty, you mentioned before the game that there were some things that had popped up in game two that you're like, those are things we need to clean up. Was it the same things that we're talking up again? Okay.
Yeah, we had difficulty in our switches. Paul had a dunk at the end of the second quarter. We didn't communicate the switch properly. Another example was we helped off Kennard on a drive. We had the drive under control. We went and helped, kicked it to him. He gets a three. Like, those are things we talked about. And so our guys don't have the excuse of being young anymore. We won playoff series. We know what it takes, and now we got to go out and do it. We'll look at the film. We'll see the things that we didn't do well. We'll try to strengthen the things we do well and come back better in the next game.
Next is Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic, followed by Sam Amick.
Thanks, Coach. Should DeAndre have been more forceful in calling for the ball with Devin and Chris having such off nights shooting? Or should Devin and Chris have just done a better job of incorporating him? He had a really hot first quarter and then he kind of faded.
We as a team can do a better job of getting DA the ball. That's on me. That's something that, whether we post him up or hit him more as he's diving to the basket, they were taking him out. I thought we tried to force it a few times, trying to make interior passes when the corners were wide open. But that's something that we'll look at and try to fix for the next game.
Next up is going to be Sam Amick with the Athletic, followed by Dan Woike.
Monty, because of what the Clippers did the last two rounds, the story now should be coming again. I wonder, if you guys took care of Denver, had a chance to watch this team up close, what kind of themes are you seeing in terms of how they do manage to hit back from the down in the series? You've been obviously a real complimentary tie.
Yeah.
What do you see about how they do it?
They play with a great deal of desperation in these situations, and our guys expected it, but I don't think we dealt with it well. We knew what they were going to do. We knew they were going to come out at halftime with more force, and we just didn't match it. And on the road, you have to exceed it. And so we've watched them for a while. We respect what they do, and we'll be better next game.
Got time for three more. Next is going to be Dan Woike with the LA Times, followed by Jose Romero.
Hey, Monty. Devin had two rough shooting nights in the first round against the Lakers. Comes back out on your home court and it's incredibly hot right away. Is he a guy that you talk to at all in these situations, or is it just that ball's going to go in and you trust it?
Both. I'll talk to him. We'll look at the film and see opportunities to, either knock it down or trust your teammate. But I also know that it's going to come because he works too hard. You know what I mean? And he's been in these situations, as you alluded to, throughout the playoffs. So we'll watch the film tomorrow. I'll sit and talk with him and Chris and try to, see opportunities for us to be more efficient on offense. Like I said, I thought the ball stuck too much. We didn't move it around the gym. When we touched the paint and moved it to the corner, we got open looks. We didn't always make it, but they're putting a lot of hands on them. They're showing them a lot of bodies. Speaking of book, and guys got to be ready to make plays when he gets off of.
Do you remember what you said to him after that, those struggles?
Hoop. The same thing I always tell all of our guys. Go out there and hoop. Don't forget who you are. I don't want our guys thinking out there. We put structure out there. We want our guys to use their gifts within our system. But I tell our guys to hoop, and they seem to respond well to that.
Final two questions are Jose Romero with the Arizona Republic and Kyle Goon.
Hey, Monty, did you sense a little frustration in Jay Crowder, just the way he defends, the things that you asked him to do defensively, just trying to get up in somebody and then the fouls?
I think so. But the one thing that we can't do is allow the officials to mess with our mental stamina. But I see the pushing off out there. We all see it. That's not something that, anybody would sit in this room and say they don't push off to get open. And Jay's getting frustrated with that, but we got to rise above it.
Final question is Kyle Goon with the Southern California News Group.
Hey, Monty, following up on Cam, who's obviously had a really tremendous postseason. What's harder for your guys to do when Cam isn't able to come out in that second half? And is it hard not to be frustrated when you get Chris back and the timing is such that Cam can't finish this game?
It's one game. We'll reevaluate how we're going to attack them. We hope Cam can get back on the floor in the next game. Like I said earlier, it was hard on Chris because I had to leave him out there for a longer stretch. And during that stretch in the third, they made a run, so I left him out there longer. And that was a tough spot for me to put each one in. So not having Cam to spell Chris put us in a bit of a bind, but, you know, hopefully he can come back and play in the next game.
Thank you for the time, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks,